Hello Radiant Faces, and welcome to another little makeup tutorial. Today we are going to be looking at the Naked 3 palette. Let me just show you a little picture of that there. That is the glorious Naked 3 palette. Now this has been around like a few years, so probably most of you have got it, or some of you have it, and I've had it for quite a while, and I suddenly thought, hey, I've got that palette and I haven't used it in ages, and it's really pretty colours. I've got my palette here. So I used to use it quite a lot. It comes with a really nice brush, as you'd expect from Urban Decay. A really nice quality brush. I like that. Oh, it's got powder on it. There we go. There's a little flat one for patting on powder there. This one would be like your blending brush to do your crease and blend out your eyeshadows. So a really nice little brush there, which I will add to my collection in my pot next to my desk. But I thought, let's do a pretty, the colours in this are really nice. They're kind of like pinks and rose golds and that sort of shades. So I thought I would do a pretty pink look with this. And when I first got this, I think I used I was kind of like a 2 shadow colour girl. But over time I have changed my technique, the way that I do my eyeshadow. So I'm going to be using quite a few colours from here in different ways, which I've never done before, and dipping into some of the colours I haven't tried. They're really pretty though. That's all the colours in the Naked 3 palette if you haven't got it. There's also a newer Naked Cherry palette by Urban Decay. And that one looks lovely, so I may have to go out and get that one. Don't tell my husband. Anyway, let's crack on. So first thing I have on my foundation, I have primer, I have a foundation, I put a little bronzer, some blush. So setting powder I've done. Now I am going to go straight in on the eyes. I've done my eyebrows, they're all done, with a little primer. So I always use eyeshadow primer. The one I'm using is Younique. If you want to get the Younique one, drop me a line and I will put you in touch with someone that can. And you only need like a tiny bit on your fingers here, and it feels kind of tacky. And I just pat that all over, right up to the brow bone. Because if there's one thing I hate, it's when my eyeshadow creases or looks muddy by the end of the day. I hate that. I like, you spend quite a while putting your eyeshadow on, blending it beautifully. What is the point if by the end of the day your eyeshadow just looks ugh? So I am going to go in all over my eyelid as a base colour with this shade here, which is called Strange. It's like Strange, that one there, which is a perfect base colour, perfect neutral colour, and it's a matte too, just to go all over to get a nice even base colour for the other colours to really pop. So I tend to do this as a rule with my when I do an eyeshadow and when I'm using primer. I always go in first over the primer with a base colour that practically matches my skin or is a little bit lighter than my natural skin colour. Which is nice if it's a little bit lighter, because then it highlights under your brow as well for you straight off. So these are great colours. The Urban Decay Palette 3 are great colours for spring. I think I'm wishing spring. I'm wishing an early spring. That's fine. Winter. We don't need winter. What do we need winter for? Let's get straight into spring with some spring colours. Now I'm going to go in with a soft blending brush. So you want to use a nice fluffy soft brush like this, and I'm going to go into the colour Nuna, which is this colour here. Right there, oh, you can see my ceiling, there we go, that colour there, and that's going to go onto my brow here. So let's see how that goes. I've actually, it sounds really dumb, I've never properly got into this palette. I just like I said, I used like a couple of colours. I was a 2-colour wonder for such a long time. Well, this goes on really nicely actually. Considering how pricey the Urban Decay are, you would expect it to go on nicely. And I'm really gently doing this. I'm not really pressing hard. I'm going back and forth in like a gentle sort of windscreen wiper motion. And using the tip of the bristles, build up that lovely colour. I've actually never used this colour. And I don't know why, because it's such a nice colour. And then as you're doing your look, if you want to blend out, you can always go back in with this colour. I'm going to set this brush to one side and I'm going to go in with Darkside. There's quite a combination of colours in this palette. There's some are matte. I always use matte. I like to use matte in my crease, and to darken the outer edge here I like to use shimmers or glitters on the lid here. I'll use like shimmers, maybe a little bit of glitter under the arch there. So it's nice that this palette has a nice combination of mattes and shimmer shades in it, because it gives you good diversity of looks to do. I'm kind of gutted actually. This dark shade here has a sparkle to it, so it's not something that I would use like all over, like in a so we're going to go in for my darkening the crease up with this shade here, which is Darkside, and we're going to do that one next. I'm going to take a crease brush, it's slightly stiffer that brush, and go in with Darkside. Again, not a colour, strangely enough, that I've used. And I'm going to keep, and I don't want to go too much onto the lid with this, I want to keep this on the outside and then blend it up into the crease. My puppy is snoring in the background. Again. Every time I film, he starts snoring. I don't know if the actual microphone is picking that up. Snoring puppy. And he's on his back again in that weird puppy position. I don't know what age they stopped doing that actually. Does anybody know what age they stopped doing that? Laying on the back puppy thing? Always better, if you're not sure about an eyeshadow, take a little bit and build it up gradually, and you will be able to see how it's going on. It's you know, even if it's like you think you've got to, if you're using like a cheaper eyeshadow and you feel like you've got to scrub your brush in it to get some out, it's like, still don't go mad, like don't load up your brush too much. You really gently go in and gradually build it up so you can see how it's going on. And then I'm going to go in with you probably see I've used these two to death, that one and that one, but I'm actually going to go for a slightly darker colour on my lid. So this one is a shimmer shade, sorry, get my other finger out of the way, and that one is called Buzz, and I'll put that on the lid with a fairly flat brush. I'm going to use this one here. I have no idea what make it is because it seems to have rubbed off, it's that old. And I'm just going to use the side of the brush and rub that onto my lid. There. Or you can kind of pat as well. That helps to push the product onto your eyelid. Actually, this came out lighter than I thought. It looks really dark in the palette, but when you put it on, it's not as dark as it looks. I think that's why I hadn't used it before. I'm like, oh no, that's too dark for my lid. You can even, if you're not getting the payoff you want, you can put your finger in. Just rub your finger in the colour and just go over the lid like that, and you get a lot more payoff on the actual lid there. I'm going to take my original fluffy brush, go back into Nuna, tap that off. I'm just going to blend out here a little bit. With a little bit of Nuna. There we go. And then this is another colour that I haven't used yet, which is Trick, which is a really cute rose gold colour. And I'm going to use that on the very inside here. I'm going to get a little pointy kind of brush there. I think this is a super old MAC brush. But yeah, again, I've used them so much, the names have rubbed off. So I'm going to go into this Trick colour and use that in the inner corner here. Like a pinky look. Might need to use my finger with this shade actually. It's not coming out as much as I would like it to. Or we could use a little, no, I do not own sponge brushes. Sometimes a little sponge is just perfect for getting it in that inner edge there, because it can be difficult to get your finger in to put the colour on. I might try a little bit of this shade here. What is this? This is Lust. And that very, very light pinky shade there. This one isn't coming out as much as I thought it would, so let's just try a little bit of this in the inner corner there and see if that gets more of a, oh yeah, that's better. I just put that right on there. A little bit more of a pop. Now I'm going to go in with some Nuna underneath, which is that middle shade there, Nuna, and go in with that just underneath the eye. And a little Darkside just on the outer edge here. Then I'm going to go in with the darkest shade right here, and I'm going to use that like a liner. That shade is called Darkheart, the really, really dark one there. And might just wet my brush a little with some finishing spray. So I don't spray my brush direct, I like to spray the back of my hand. So spray the back of my hand, and then I get my brush and I just put it in the spray on the back of my hand and then dip it into the palette, and I get some, and I'm going to use this like an eyeliner basically along my lash line to fill in those little gaps. Dip it in. And line there. And it's going to wing it out as well, so I'm going to go from here to wing it up. Join that up. And the same here. Wing it out. Join that together. I'm going to take it under just a tad. I'm going to take some brush eyeliner I like eyeliners that have a brush on. It's so much easier to use. I'm picking up like every single thing apart from the one I want. A little brush there, and I'm just going to go under here, which helps to fill in the little gaps in my eyelashes. And the same just here, just under. I have a gap like right there, it's so annoying. Every time I do my lashes, I'm like, why doesn't that gap ever grow back? Okay. Just go along the top just slightly. The nice thing with this liner is you can get right into the lash line with the finest line, which is brilliant. So when this runs out, this is a Limelife one, eyeliner with a brush. When that runs out, I will be looking for another eyeliner with a brush. I'm going to brighten up my waterline. I'm going to use the Wonder Pencil from NYX in Light, which is like almost a skin coloured rather than a white, and it doesn't look as harsh as sometimes a white line. Sometimes a white line, you can notice it. It's great for photography, but sometimes a white line is a little bit too stark for just giving that brightening effect. So I always go for this one. I'm just going to go in with some mascara. Ooh. And poke myself in the eye with it. And then just wiggle it at the roots. If you find your mascara doesn't seem to sort of make your eyelashes a little longer, wiggle it at the roots a little, and that should help. In fact, I think this one's probably getting a little bit dry now, so you should only really keep your mascara for about 3 months, because if you think about it, you're like putting it on your eye and dipping it back in the pot, so it's best to replace it every 3 months or so, or thereabouts. I'm going to outline my lips with a nude liner. What have I done here? Okay. And this is really cool. This is a Limelife liner, and they resharpen themselves. You just put it in the cap and twist it. Makes a little click noise, and it's I'm going to outline my lips. Even if you're wearing lip gloss, just a little bit of lip line on the outside makes it look a little bit nicer. And I am going to use my Peace lip gloss, because I think this will go really nicely with this rose sort of look. And my lips could do the moisture. There we go. So that's my look for the day. Nice day makeup. This is a great palette actually for wedding makeup. I think this would be a super palette to get to do a look for a wedding day. Really pretty pink, rose colours. So they would look really natural with any kind of like wedding dress colour schemes that you might want to have. So remember to subscribe or follow me if you like the little makeup tutorials. I will carry on doing little product reviews. Obviously Urban Decay is awesome. It's a beautiful palette, really pretty, great for everyday use. I mean, you could literally live from this palette. And you'd probably be alright, you know. But yeah, subscribe or follow for more makeup tutorials and product reviews. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!